Hey y'all, what's up? What's up, people? What's up? I hope everybody's doing good. Um, it feels good to finally be released to do a video. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot that is going on. There is a lot that God is downloading. Um, not only to me, but collectively. I've gone through a personal journey in my own life where I had to face who you gonna serve, who you gonna serve, and it came about because in my search for truth, I've always been one that searched for truth. So I've studied many religions. I don't know if it's all of them, but I've studied quite a bit of religions. But I always go with what feels right in my heart, what feels right in my soul, and I follow that path. So a couple of years ago, it's like I don't even know that it was a couple. Yeah, it was about 2022. Um, this spirituality type movement start popping up, right? So for those that don't know, God had called me out of the church, which, I grew up in church. Church is the church life or whatever, but he started to show me that a personal relationship with him was what I needed to focus on. And so that when this spirituality movement, when I started um you know checking it out and listening to what the people were saying and things like that, it almost sounded like the same thing that I was going through. There was some things that made me but it sounded like the same thing that God had me going through. So I I started to get started to do research. Now the good thing that came out of it was that I became I was really interested in astrology, numerology, um and connecting those with how is that important to God? How does that line up with the flow of God? But then I realized that God created all things. So the spirituality movement, it is so deceptive that it appears to be real, and they use the name of God, they use the things of God, they use the rituals, and everything that they do mimics the things of God, but it's on the it's for deception purpose. It's deception. It's uh, dark magic. Like I don't even know what else to try to call it, but what it is for real is uh darkness. It's darkness, and it is so it's so deceiving, and it appears to be so real. And the crazy part is that it's not only in within the spirituality movement, it's in a lot of the religions that we have established today. And I only come because for a long time I used to say, "Oh, I don't condemn those things or whatever," and I would just sit back and just let things that God was clearly showing me were not of Him. I would sit back and, "Oh, I don't condone. If that's what you do, then that's what you do." But we are at a time right now where God has shaken things up. God is shaking things up. And when I started going through it in my personal life, then I started to notice it within, because as I was going through it in my personal life, I always kept the mindset that the mind frame that, you know, you can't be the only one. You are not the only one that is going through this. There are other people that are going through this great shaking too. And they'll manifest, they'll manifest. And boy, have they been manifesting within the last, I'll say, week, within the last week. So immediate so February the 4th, I'm sorry, February the 24th, I came face to face with this devil. I came face to face with this devil. And I'm not talking about flesh and blood. I'm talking about a spirit that is devil. Okay? And I came face to face with this thing. But the amazing thing about it is that prior to it happening, God was showing me everything that was going to take place prior to it even happening. But who knows? Like, you don't know that that's what you gonna literally go through. In our minds, we try to connect it back to experiences that we've had in the past. So I didn't know that I was going to physically walk out everything that God was showing me. But so yeah, he was showing me as I'm walking through it, that this is what happened, this is what's happening now, and this is what's going to take place after this happens. And so yeah, after coming, before I even came face to face with this devil, I had lit a candle, and there was like this image on my wall, and it was like an image of a man that was bound, and he was like wiggling around trying to break free, but he couldn't break free. He couldn't break free. And I kept on asking God, like, what is that? What is that? But in my spirit, I knew that that was the enemy that was bound, and he has no more reign. He is bound. He has zero more reign. But it was like so comforting after I went through what I went through, that I experienced that beforehand, because fear could have easily overtaken me the way that I had to come face to face with this thing. But God gave me the strength. He built me up prior to be able to go in and cast light on this darkness. So then, like, after that, my body felt so tired. Like, I talk to my friend quite regularly, because, like, the things that I'm going through, I've never gone through this before. I've gone through transitions and transformations in my life before, but never to this extent. So I'm talking to her, and I'm telling her, like, my body is just so. I felt drained. I felt like I physically was in a war. Physically in a war, and my body had to rest. It was just drained. It was drained. I don't know how else to explain it. So as I'm going through, trying to allow my body to rest, God is just like giving me all this information and downloads and revelations to different things that are going on. And like, it has literally been a walk with, I'm going to show you this, and then I need you to do this, and then after you do this, it will be the next instruction that will come. That's literally how my life have been flowing for the last month, 2-3 weeks especially, like deeply, but for the last month. So we're at a time now where God is shaking everything up. Everything that can be shaken is being shaken. And only that cannot be shaken will remain. That's interesting, because um we're about to see some major major changes in our world. And it's not even about to see. We are already seeing the things happening. And are we paying attention? Are we paying attention? Have we really studied to show ourselves approved? Have we really sought the guidance, the wisdom, the understanding that only God could give to understand the days and the times and the hours that we are in? You know, I'm one that believe that, you know, I read the Bible. I did a video. I don't remember if it was the last one, but I did one. Yeah, I did one, and I was saying I literally had to dust mine off. But you know, since then, like I've been led to certain scriptures or whatever. But it's amazing to me how every time um I am led to a scripture, it confirms what God is telling me in my spirit at the moment. And so now is the time. Now is the time. And there's no more there's no more trying to play in both worlds. God is destroying the ways of this world because we've been deceived. We have been deceived. We have been manipulated. We have been lied to. We have been used for the the grand scheme of things of making this system in this world flow the way that they wanted it to go. We have been used, and it's been going on for generations. It's been going on for generations. And now, like, God is saying, no, we're going to tear this thing down. We're going to tear this thing down, and we're going to make room for my kingdom to advance here in the earth. Here in the earth. And if we're not careful, this is what God was showing me today, that though this is happening now, if we are not careful, if we don't allow our mind and our heart to integrate, meaning if we continue to be enslaved in our minds by this entity, this devil, this system, if we continue to be enslaved in our minds and we are living our life from a mind perspective and not from a heart, which is a Christ consciousness perspective, then we're going to know that God is doing all these things, but our move, the way that we plan our moves are going to be according to the shackles that are on our minds, if that makes sense to you. So, I just want to encourage everybody. I want to encourage everybody to pay attention to everything that's happening in the heavens, everything that's happening on the earth. Everything is for a sign. God said that He created these things, you know, the firmament and the things and the stars, the moon, the sun. He created everything for a sign and a season. For a sign and a season. And when these things start to line up, then this is when you know that it's here, or this is when you know that it's coming. Like, now is the time to pay attention. Now is not the time for us to be worried about the wrong thing, like begging this system to try to bail us out, like how we did in 2020. Like how we did in 2020, we played right into the fear. We play right into the lies, the manipulation, and the deception of this system that they inflicted upon us back in 2020. We played into it, and look where we are now. Look where this world is now. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it's not about a political, I know this is election year here in the United States. I understand that. I don't vote. I don't care what nobody say. We need to vote. Our voice need to be heard. No, I'm not voting nowhere in this system. So it don't even affect me. But I'm paying attention to the signs. And when this year came back around, God had already showed me that this is the finale of what happened in 2020. So I had to align it. It's like the things that I have gone through this year are so parallel to the things that I went through back then, but it's different. The outcomes are different. It's mind blowing. Even for everybody don't follow me on Facebook, but like today I had posted a post on Facebook like back in 2020, and this is just a sign. Back in 2020, the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers played in Super Bowl 54. The presidential election was between Biden and Trump in 2020. Fast forward to 2024, the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers played in Super Bowl 58. And this morning it was confirmed that Trump has won the Republican nomination for presidency. So it's going to be a rematch of him and Biden. What is God saying? Like, that got me so excited. Like, okay, God, how you about to turn things around? Like, God's flipping the tables. He's flipping the tables. And he's doing it for his kingdom's sake. He's not doing it for our own personal luxuries and things like that. He's doing it for his kingdom come. His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Yeah. Yeah. So it's time to wake up from our slumber. It's time to wake up. It's time to truly examine our hearts, our minds, our thoughts, our lives, where we conform, how we've been deceived. And I believe if you ask him, he'll show it to you. He'll show you. He will remove the veil and show, because the veil has already been removed. If you really want to know, you could see, because the veil is gone. Like, it's nothing hindering nobody from being able to see the lies, the manipulation, the deception that has gone on for, generations and generations and generations. And these are things that were just passed down to us throughout the years. And now it's like, no, no. When I had my son in 2015. And I used to tell my son when he was still in my belly, we generational breakers. We are generational breakers. We are breaking generations. We are breaking curses off our family from generations ago. And I tell him that now. I tell him that now. But what I have come to really overstand is that it's already done. It's already done. Because by me facing that devil on February the 24th, 2024, ever since then, everything has been crystal clear to me. Crystal clear. The deception, the lies, everything. I was drawn to the P. Diddy story. Those that follow what's going on with P. Diddy and Hollywood and all these accusations and things like that. And you know what made me know that it was real? Because one day I was having a conversation with my nephew. Actually, Cat Williams had called out the guy Baphomet, right? So I had no knowledge of this God. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen the image, I was like, oh my God. Because one day I was talking to my nephew and I looked over at my freezer and I seen this image of a goat head on my freezer. It was like, I'm like, do you see that? He was like, no. I was like, that's weird, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know, but that was God giving me a sign. He knew that I would be able to refer back to that and know that this is real. This that you seeing right now, this is real. And not only that, I went through the exact same thing that's happening with P. Diddy and all of them. I went through the exact same thing. The exact same thing. I can't say exact because like them freak off parties and stuff, nah. I never did that. I ain't never been involved in anything like that or nothing like that. But to be in the presence of other people that are so consumed with self and their agenda and their power, their desire to have power over another individual for self gratification and for self gain is beyond me. Like, I don't even understand that. I don't understand how you could even think like that. But I have experienced this devil my whole life. My whole life. I have experienced, I'm talking about from growing up all the way to now. Growing up all the way to now. And then, they make you out to be like you crazy, you sound crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, you have all these mental issues and all these things like that, or we love you, we want you to get into alignment, we're here to support you. I mean, it's crazy to me. It's because it's like, how can you say all those things but your actions are so much different? I don't understand that. So the same thing that we're seeing happen with the exposure of everything that's going on within the entertainment industry is happening in our own personal lives too. But we got to be woke. We got to have our eyes open. We got to be able to see it. We got to be able to see it. It's my heart's desire. I know we all ain't gonna make it. I know we not all gonna um we're not gonna cut ties or allegiance to the system of this world because it's hard to fathom how you gonna make it, how you gonna be able to survive, how you gonna be able to pay your bills and do all these other things. But that's how they keep the manipulation going, because it's like, yeah, you got to worry about doing all of that, so you're gonna have to keep coming to depend on us. You're gonna have to keep putting your trust and dependence upon us. It's manipulation, it's deception, and that's not the way that God created us to be. That is not the way that God created us to be. It is not. It is not. God created us to thrive exceptionally. And if you don't believe me, walk outside your door wherever you are right now and look around you. Everything that you see in this earth thrives exceptionally without a ruler. So be encouraged. Be encouraged. Um, yeah, I'm sure that I'll be back. I'm sure that I'll be back because it's like, ring the alarm. Ring the alarm, because my people have to wake up. If not, you're gonna perish. You're gonna perish. And you know, the Bible clearly stated my people perish from the lack of knowledge. And be careful with this spirituality, these religions, and all these other things that try to control us and stuff, because the Bible also says that even the very elect will be deceived. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. The churches have been deceived by the system to make you think that you got to go get this 501c3 to be governed by the government, to be able to preach the word of God, to be able to share the word of God. You got to go through all these loops and hoops and conform to what we want you to be able to conform to. And you don't need them 4 walls to be able to reach the people. You don't need all them lights and loud music to be able to reach the people. We don't need all of that. We don't need all of that. And it's just a way of conforming. It's just a way of conforming. So, y'all be blessed. I don't know when the next time I'll come back, so I ain't even gonna tell you that I'll be back at a specific date and time. I'll just hop on whenever God tells me to, because I know that the word is urgent and He wants it out. So I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. And I pray that I pray that you start. I just pray that you pay attention to what's going on around. You know what I'm saying? And I'll leave it there. Pay attention to what's going on around and go within. Go within and connect with the spirit that's within you. Because the same spirit that raised Jesus Christ from the dead lives within us all. The same one. The same one. So, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.